I felt the need to share a message for Jesus, and the message that I wanted to share is about the false teachings that are going on in the Christian churches today. It is a lie that all you have to do is believe in Jesus in order to be saved. It is a lie that all you have to do is say a salvation prayer and you will receive a free ticket into heaven. It is a lie that we are covered under God's grace because Jesus died on the cross. This teaching is abusing His death and suffering on the cross by making people feel that they have a license to sin. Jesus' death on the cross gave us a chance at life. Your decision for what you're going to do with that chance is up to you.
The churches, they're not teaching right things. They're not teaching the true Bible. They're not teaching what Jesus said. It's they're preaching things that people want to hear. They're preaching for the itching ear, you know.
At that moment, I chose to commit suicide. It was like a joy came over me. It'd be the answer to all my problems, and I get to go back to heaven.
He bought his favorite gin and 3 bottles of sleeping pills, and then drove to a remote bird sanctuary near his home in Anchorage, Alaska. You swallow the pills one after another.
Right.
3 bottles.
Right.
You're drinking the gin.
Right.
You're in your front seat of your car.
Right. And I get a flash of light, and I'm suddenly outside, and I'm thinking, how the heck did I get out here? And I notice that there's no color. Everything's gray. And I put my head back, and the moment I close my eye, there's another flash. And I'm in mid-free fall into a pit that's pitch black.
His lifelong wish to return to heaven had ended in a personal vision of hell. So it was hot.
It was extremely hot, very humid and dense. Smoke coming out of the ground. I am split into 7. To me, I'm living in my past, and I'm experiencing all the people that I had met throughout my life. They would come to me and get within my face and start pushing and screaming, and I would relive a moment that I caused them pain.
Then he says he saw the suffering his death would eventually cause.
My mother, I was there when she collapsed. Finding out I was dead from suicide. My daughter, she was 18, and she's sitting on the floor contemplating suicide because I wasn't there for her. I was on my hands and face, weeping, not just crying, but weeping for Jesus to save me.
How did you get out?
I was pretty much lifted up by the back of my neck and slowly, very slowly lifted out of this pit. I've always told me, you have work to do, and if you continue to live the life you are, this is where you're going to spend eternity.
And I could barely see him, I was so weak. But he said, sir, you need Jesus Christ. And I didn't know Jesus. I didn't know what he was talking about. So my reaction to that was to begin cursing. And again, he stated to me, you need Jesus. And as he was talking to me, it appeared like the ambulance literally exploded in flames. I thought it had actually blown up. It filled with smoke, and immediately I I was moving through that smoke as if through a tunnel. And after some period of time, coming out of the smoke and out of the darkness, I began to hear the voices of a multitude of people screaming and groaning and crying. But as I looked down, the sensation was looking down upon a volcanic opening and seeing fire and smoke and people inside of this burning place screaming and crying. They were burning, but they weren't burning up. They weren't being consumed. And then the sensation of moving downward into the...
And Isaiah 24:22, it says, they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in the pit and shall be shut up in the prison. So he's talking about prison cells. Proverbs 7:27 talks about going down to hell to the chambers of death. And the word chamber means inner rooms. And the bars, Jonah 2:6 talks about the earth with her bars was about me forever. Yet thou hast brought up my life from corruption.
As we walked, they stayed around me, kept moving me on, and it kept getting darker and darker. They were becoming more and more openly hostile to me. First they were sort of syrupy sweet to get me to go with them, and then when I was going along with them, it was like, hurry up, keep moving, you know, shut up, stop asking, you know, they started getting more ugly. And so we get into complete darkness. I'm absolutely terrified. These people are very hostile, I don't know where I am. I said, I'm not going to go with you any further. They said, you're almost there. And we started to fight. I was trying to get away from them. They were pushing and pulling at me. And there are now a lot of them. What originally had been like a handful, now was, since it was darkness, maybe hundreds or thousands. I have no idea. And they're playing with me. You know, clearly they could have just destroyed me if they wanted to. They didn't want to destroy me. What they wanted to do was they wanted to inflict pain on me. Because they derived, pleasure isn't the right word, but they derived satisfaction out of the pain that I experienced.
And in Revelation 20:15 says, whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire, that lake. Are you sure tonight that your name is written in the book of life?
And as I stood there, I began to sense something out to my right looking at me, in front of me. I felt like invisible eyes of something or someone checking me out. The darkness had an evil presence, cold, encroaching evil, pervading the atmosphere. Where am I? Shut up. You deserve to be here. What? Deserve to be where? Hell. Now shut up.
Also, there's a lot of Christians that are living in really kind of a backslidden state. Many of us, you know, don't live the way we should live. And there's people that are saved, but they're living in some kind of sin. You know, and you can't be living in sin. You don't want to be living in a backslidden state where maybe you're living in you're not married and you're living with your girlfriend or your boyfriend and you think that's okay and you're getting away with it. God doesn't think that's all right. You do not want to live that way. And, the scripture says in Romans 8:13, if you live after the flesh, you'll die. And Jesus said, if your eye offend thee, pluck it out. It's better for you to enter into life maimed than enter into hellfire. So if your eye, and the word offend means causes you to sin. So if you're doing something, if you're into pornography, if you're, just like you said, living with your girlfriend, if you're living some compromised lifestyle, you don't want to do that. He said that you're in danger of hellfire. So why would you want to take a chance and live like that?